Don't worry, Lavenza. If there's any news of our friends, I'll find it. Now back to Forton Manor. Greetings, Mr. Shark. Oh, yeah, he just has all the exposition. I said I was. Well, I'll read it this time. What do you do here? Me? Why, I am but a humble servant sworn to House Forton. I doubt you wish to hear the minutiae of my duties. Simply put, at the behest of my lord the Count, I manage household affairs. I have served as at his pleasure for more than 50 years, and by the Fury's grace, I shall serve for 50 more. Tell me about House Forton. The origins of House Forton can be traced back to King Thoradin and his Knights 12. Ours was one of the 4 founding houses of Ishgard. Accordingly, our interests extend far beyond the walls of the city proper. Camp Dragonhead, for instance, is our responsibility. As for the family, you have, of course, met my lord, Count Edmond de Forton, who is the head of our house. His 2 sons, my lords, oh God, Artorial and Emanuelaine are next in line. May the Fury watch over and keep them from harm. As for those sworn to House Forton, in addition to the knights, squires, and infantry, more than 100 craftsmen, retainers, and other servants possessed of notable skill are pledged to our service. Given our strong position, one might expect us to have no truck with foreign merchants and sellswords. However, nothing could be further from the truth. I should think that my lord the Count was quite clear on this point, but it was our hope that you and your allies would, by your deeds, help us to convince the other high houses of the wisdom in opening the gates of judgment to all, among other things. More than anything else, though, I suspect he saw in you potential. Tell me about Ishgard. More than 1,000 years ago, Helone appeared before Lord Thoradin I and bade him lead his people to the Promised Land, to the lands we now call home. And so the king and his knights 12 did as was commanded. They came to Kurthis to found a great kingdom in the Fury's name. But the great worm Nidhogg would not have it so. With hatred in his heart, Nidhogg sought out King Thoradin. In the ensuing battle, the king and half his knights were slain, but his son Haldrith rallied the others and drove back the fell beast. Thus did the war between our peoples begin, the war between dragon and man. For 1,000 years Ishgard has stood against the Horde, and not once were our defenses breached, until the day Lady Iceheart's allies shattered our wards on the steps of faith. Though the worms were slain before they could breach our defenses here, those in Foundation were not so fortunate. Unarmed men, women, and even children were made to feel the Dravinians' wrath. Walls can be rebuilt, but lives lost can never be reclaimed. My lord the Count knows this all too well. It's interesting. I remember that obviously, like, the story behind Thoradin and the Knights 12, it was fabricated, but I don't remember the details of it, of exactly what they did. Didn't they kill, like, the original, or whoever Hraesvelgur's, lover was or something, and then I don't remember it all. I mean, we'll get there. Is that Aye, it is the smell of mead, newly come and already sampling the delights of our taverns. Oh yes, I like you. I like you a lot. How do you find our city? Beautiful, is it not? Ah, pray do not concern yourself with me, madam. He's always going around with a manline, right? And like a manline is kind of the or at least he comes across as the less intelligent one. Like it's the actual kid that seems to know what the hell he's doing. It is an honor. Yeah, that's all he says. All right. Tell us then, Master Alphino, does Ishgard meet with your expectations? That which I imagined pales in comparison to the reality. I felt the weight of 1,000 years of history with every step I took, and when those steps took me past the scars left by the wyverns in Foundation, I understood how easily that history could end in tragedy. The attack was devastating, the casualties unspeakable. The wyverns did not discriminate. Unarmed men and women, even children, were given no quarter. Sir Emmerich has ordered his knights to strengthen our defenses, and each house has been called upon to lend what support it can. There is much to be done, yet alas, able-bodied men and women are in short supply. Mayhap we could be of assistance, my lord. After all you have done for us, we would welcome any opportunity to repay your kindness. That is a most generous offer, Master Alphino. You are guests in my house, to whom I have extended my hospitality without obligation, let or lien. Nevertheless, Ishgard's need is great, and if you are willing to aid our cause, I cannot well refuse. Good. What would you ask of us? From what I have heard, you are an intelligent and persuasive young man. Such qualities may prove most useful to us in our efforts to secure provisions from foreign sources, identifying trustworthy suppliers, brokering contracts, and so on. And you have a big sword. As for you, Mistress Shark, I could ask for no one better than a storied veteran such as yourself, a woman with the capacity to act swiftly and decisively when needed, to aid Arderel. I'm just going to call him Arderel. I'm positive it's not pronounced that way, but to aid Arderel and Emmanueline in their duties. And I'm sure at some point I'll hear it in a voice line and just, I beg your pardon? I am more than capable of carrying out my duty by myself. I have no need of our honored guest's assistance. Now, be reasonable, brother. What manner of fool would say no when a famous hero offered to do his work? Hold your tongues. By the fury, the two of you will conduct yourselves with dignity befitting your station and show Mistress Shark the respect she deserves. This is the woman who slew Gaius Van Belsar and some half-dozen primals besides. She is not here to steal your glory or serve as your errand girl. If you can pardon them their impropriety, Mistress Shark, I should be much obliged if you would lend my sons a helping hand. My thanks. Fury willing, they may even learn something from you. I can't remember. It may actually be the older one that's actually like more of a, I don't know, just I think it's like always trying to get away with doing as little as possible. And maybe it's the younger one that's more kind of gung ho about things. I don't remember. Forgive me, Mistress Shark. I was unprepared for my father's decision. I'm sure he just says the same thing he always does. Yeah. I look forward to working with you, Lavenza. It's going to be grand. Yeah, he seems to be more. Please look after Lord Amandalane, Mr. Shark. 'Twould seem we shall not want for employment over the coming days, though that was never in doubt. Our host's initial reluctance to accept our offer of aid was solely for appearance's sake. In truth, he is glad of this opportunity to put us to work. Aren't they all? By granting us patronage, House Fortin has taken a tremendous risk. Until we demonstrate our worth to Ishgard at large, the Count will face considerable opposition from his peers in matters great and small. And so he would have us publicly serve Ishgard, while simultaneously keeping his sons in check. 'Tis an arrangement we may benefit from in unexpected ways. My own duties may feasibly bring me into contact with people who know something of our missing comrades. And as you go about helping our two lords with their various responsibilities, you will inevitably make new acquaintances in Ishgard, mayhap even new allies. Yes, the more I think on it, the more confident I am that by furthering their goals, we shall further our own. Okay, so 2 quests now. Ah, Mr. Sharp, Lord Amandalane would like to speak with you. Onwards and upwards, and that looks like to be Sea of Clouds. Over the wall. Yeah, if this is like some of the... I don't know if initially you can pick up both at the same time. I think you could. But I've noticed any time that there's been multiple MSQ quests in New Game Plus, it only allows you to do one. And I just want to go to Western Kurthus Highlands first, so... Over the wall, Lord Arturel is less than eager to brief you on his mission. Let us begin anew, Mr. Shark. I am Sir Arturiel de Forton, eldest son of Count Edmont de Forton. You will forgive me my outburst, I hope. I meant no disrespect. I merely consider myself equal to the duties entrusted to me, unlike some. Orchefant has spoken of you often. If you are even half the woman he claims, I shall be glad to have you at my side. To the matter at hand, then, we will be assisting my esteemed compatriots of houses Durandare and Zumal. You are aware of our friendly rivalry, I take it? Aye, well, suffice it to say, the prospect of assisting said houses does not fill me with joy. However, it is the will of the Holy See that we set aside our differences at this crucial juncture, but we shall speak more of that anon. First, we must need secure transport to Falcon's Nest. Let us make for the Chocobo stables in Foundation. Okay, yeah, and then it cut us off from the other one. I don't know if they changed this since I first did it. If I'm not remembering correctly, or I don't know, whatever, but I wonder why, if they did in fact change it, why they did. But either way, I wanted to do this one first, so I'm glad I did pick it up first. Oh, I just need to go to Falcon's Nest. Oh, speak with the Chocobo Keeping Foundation. I think that's the faster way there. Yeah. I've secured Chocobo porters for the two of us. The Chocobo Keep has yours. Greetings, Mr. Shark. I've saddled a black Chocobo for your journey to the Western Highlands, as per Lord Arturel's instruction. Will this be your first time riding a black Chocobo, may I ask? If so, you're in for a treat. As I dare say you know, this particular breed can fly. I mean, can't they all? Like, I have a red Chocobo that can fly. Given the right conditions, they can carry you quite high, too, even over Snowcloak. You needn't worry about directing the bird, of course. Like all porters, she's trained to carry you to your destination all by herself. So just relax and enjoy the view. Oh, but be sure not to relax your grip, will you? 2 hands on the reins at all times, if you please. So again, was this the quest where you actually got your black Chocobo, or was that later? And then do they have that anymore? I don't know. This is exciting. Like, so many of these zones, like, I've only ever come back to recently for, like, gathering. But to actually come back and get to kind of be a part of it again.
To the frozen wastes of the Western Highlands, once verdant tracts made pallid by the calamity. Beyond the towering wall of ice, to lands long forsaken that the knights of Ishgard strove tirelessly to reclaim. To the hamlet of Falcon's Nest, once abandoned, now freed of its pall of snow and ash, she came.
Yeah, the narration they added in Heavensward and obviously continued in the subsequent expansions is... It's just, you know, a cool way of coming to a new zone. It would have been nice to have that for A Realm Reborn, but at the same time, like, the expansions I think are a bit more linear, well, at least at the beginning, than A Realm Reborn is. And I think they actually cut off access to zones in the expansions until you get there in the story. Where I think in A Realm Reborn you can actually go to any zone whenever you want. The world looks quite different when viewed from the back of an airborne chocobo, does it not? I still find the experience strangely liberating. To business. Sir Redwald is in charge here. He should be expecting us. It has been far, far too long, Lord Arturel. And who might your companion be? Pray forgive us our lateness, Sir Redwald. I present to you Lavenza Shark, ward of House Forton. Ah, yes, of course. Lord Drillamont spoke of you. I, Sir Redwald of House Durandare, do bid you welcome to Falcon's Nest. We are both eager to contribute to the settlement's restoration. How may we be of service? Before we speak of that, would I be correct in assuming that Mistress Shark is unfamiliar with our recent history? Then, with your permission, I shall recount the tale for her benefit. As you may know, Falcon's Nest was once a hamlet with a small garrison of knights and some few villagers, and then came the calamity. That's why I wish I had played more of 1.0, because I did play a little bit of it. I don't recall. I mean, like a month at most, I think. And I think I dipped my toe back in sometime a little bit later, but I did not play during kind of like its heyday when Yoshi P took over. I don't think I had played during that period of time. And so that's one thing I missed, was being able to see like Kurthus before it was covered in snow and all that. When it became clear that the snow would not stop falling, we had no choice but to order a complete withdrawal. The settlement and the entirety of the Western Highlands were to be abandoned. Abandoned to the heretics, Lady Iceheart and her kind have walked these lands with impunity ever since. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to come here first, was because if I remember correctly, this is where you meet back up with Iceheart. Aye, but no longer. The Holy See has commanded the reclamation of the Western Highlands and the expulsion of heretical elements. Falcon's Nest is key to accomplishing these objectives. But, as you can see, rebuilding the hamlet will be no small undertaking. Our craftsmen require support and protection. Any assistance you can offer will be greatly appreciated. As promised, we of House Fortin are at your disposal, Sir Redwald. You need but tell us where to begin. Oh, there he is. Sir Redwald and I are discussing how to deal with the heretics in this region. In the meantime, I ask that you see to other matters. Work in progress. Sir Redwald would have you assist the craftsmen rebuilding the fortifications of Falcon's Nest. Several craftsmen in service to House Zamal are contributing to the restoration of Falcon's Nest. These men and women are quite skilled at building and repairing fortifications, but their progress has been hampered by a number of factors. Roth, their foreman, tells me he has need of a woman with your talents. Would you be so kind as to seek him out? Roth or Roth, whatever. One of a list of many names I shall mispronounce. Yes, I'm Roth. And who might you be? Ah, the promised help. Glad to have you aboard. I've the honor of overseeing this fine mess you see before you. Sent me over on one of them black birds, same as you, to build and mend and tell others how to build and mend. But fury take me this ice. It's bloody unnatural how fast it forms. It's icicle sprites, I tell you. Mark my words, there are pockets of them here and there, just waiting for me to turn my back so they can sneak out and do their dirty work. So I need you to search the hamlet and put an end to it. If you stand watch long enough, you're sure to find them. Love that. I, for some dumb reason, I still get a kick out of, over leveling it and just one-shotting them. Oh, up above. Oh, yeah, not ready yet. All right. Well, that was easy enough. Ha! Now that's a woman who looks like she's found her marks. You're just the sort we need around here. The kind that'll hop to when she sees a task undone. It's so funny just doing this, these like menial tasks after having just done the Dark Knight quest and all that entails. Hey all, tonight was an amazing night of streaming. We did some Heavensward, and we got the 30 to 40 range of Dark Knight quest done, which was absolutely amazing. It was also my first raid, so a whole bunch of people jumped in the channel, and that was awesome. Uh, Hope it happens again. I need viewers. Uh, but yeah, it was great. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, uh, like, comment, and subscribe. And please come and join me over on Twitch. Having a blast. The link to that is in the description down below. Again, thank you and have a great one.